This evening, we are going to talk through some key dates for the year group over the spring term and the start of the summer term. We're going to talk through the college applications and what happens next now that those have gone off to colleges. We're going to look at some ways that you guys as parents can support your child as we move into kind of like mock exam season once again. And we are going to, and we're also going to talk through. Right. We're also going to talk through some the March mock exam window or the February mock exam window. Okay, then. So we've got here then on the screen some key dates really for the spring term. If your child does a BTEC subject, you will be well aware that we've got some BTEC exams that are taking place this week and next. So those are the likes of sports studies, and other subjects, health and social care. Your child is well aware if they are involved in those exams, and we have communicated with you guys as well. So those are taking place. Next Tuesday and the Tuesday of week 3, we've got some English literature mock exams. So everybody who attended their parents' evening before the Christmas holidays will have been told in person about these. The young people are well aware of these, and also school comms went home about these. This is our only opportunity to do English literature mocks, just because, as you know, the curriculum areas are really numerous. You know, your child studies a lot of subjects, and we're simply not able to get them into the kind of November and the next round of big mocks. So your child will only get kind of one kind of round of literature mocks. Those are going to take place during lesson time, on when they've got double lessons on a Tuesday. The MFL speaking mock exams begin on the 5th of February. We have a timetable for those, and a little bit nearer the time, your child will get their personalised slot for when they need to attend those, exactly how they did for the college entry mock exams. The full mock exam fortnight begins the 23rd of February, so that's the first 2 weeks of next half term. And I'm going to talk you through shortly the kind of drive towards that we will be taking the young people on, so you know exactly how we're preparing them for those. The art GCSE exam proper begins on the 20th of March. The MFL GCSE speaking exams proper begin on the 22nd of April, and the actual GCSE written exams begin on the 5th of May. So those are the kind of key academic dates that we are working towards, and you can see actually that you know, they're starting to come thick and fast now. Okay, I'm going to pass to Miss Sawa, who's going to talk through revision sessions.
Thank you, Miss Morgan, and good evening. I know there is a question already. Someone asked about, is there any revision session this week? So revision session should run as normal this week and next week. And if there is any concern or anything that any revision session that is not running, that the students will be notified. But 100%. But from next week there will be 100% running. So tomorrow is week B. Sorry, it's week B, and tomorrow Wednesday is the history and MFL revision. And I know history teachers, they do the history revision tirelessly, and they expect people, and same with MFL as well. And after school there will be a health and social care. There will be health and social care because the health and social care exam is on Friday, so there will be a revision on that. There will be a drama, tech, food tech, photography, and there is a triple chemistry revision. So we are running revision sessions as normal this week, but if there is any gaps in revision, just in case we don't have a member of staff, or if there is any reason that the revision sessions are cancelled, then you will be notified. But from next week will be full on. Okay, and I do suggest that please do attend the revision sessions. Teachers are waiting for them. The revision sessions are planned And students have found those revision sessions quite useful before for college entry exams. Okay, college applications. Finally, it was a big massive process. They are done and dusted.
And thank you for your support with those. We know that you guys worked incredibly hard around those as well.
Because the paper applications were easier than the online ones, and Loretto become online this year, and they struggle with their bits and we struggle with our bits. But we have got how to get around. So all the applications are done, all the applications are gone before we broke up for Christmas holidays. Okay, and the colleges are processing the information now, processing the applications. If there is this week and next week, you should have some kind of confirmation that they have received the application. If they haven't received the application, I would just say by next week, you need to start letting me know, letting Miss Morgan know, so we can liaise with the colleges. But I always suggest that if you don't receive any confirmation, you can email them directly, because this is what they like. At this stage, the colleges want minimum interference from teachers. But if there is any issue with the college applications or anything they haven't received, or what we can do, we can talk to the colleges about it. Okay. So at this stage, you will be just getting confirmation about the applications, and then I will just say next few weeks, and by the time it will be the February mock exams, students will secure the places, or they will have an acceptance, or they will have decline, or whatever is happening, that you will be more in a loop. Just in case, if the student did not secure a place, okay, please read the email very carefully. If there is somewhere right at the end that they can appeal, please do appeal. An appeal has to come from you directly to the colleges, so school can't appeal. And if the appeal is successful, then there will be a conditional offer, and of course it will be based on the GCSE grades. Or if you have any other concerns regarding colleges, do communicate directly with them, because the more you communicate with them, the more they know, how to deal with the situation and if the things in the board. Okay, there are some colleges that still accepting the online applications, and that's Manchester College and Trafford College. And there are, if you're interested in applying somewhere else, please do so, but do let us know, because we have to provide the reference. Sometime when you apply for the college applications, they communicate directly to us, and then we upload our references, we upload our grades and everything, and we send it off. Especially with the Trinity College, they liaise directly with the students, and they just need to write who will be.
Your side.
No, I'm doing the same as you. I'm just saying, why is it?
Sorry. And they apply directly to them. And if there is any issues, you just communicate with us. Right, your turn, Miss.
Okay, so yeah, and just to kind of follow on from what Jamila was saying there, a lot of the time the colleges do like to hear from the student or from yourselves directly. But if you've got any questions, if you've got any queries at all, please do just drop us an email. We're more than happy to, kind of, what our thoughts are on the situation. So please do let us know. Okay, then, right, to talk a little bit next. This is usually the point in the year, if it's not happened already, when parents and carers get in touch with us and say, oh, like we're not sure how we could, what should we be doing? They're revising really hard, or they're not quite revising yet, and we don't really know what we should do in order to help and support our child. And we've just got a little bit of kind of guidance next. This goes with the caveat that we know that you know your young person the best. So this is just some of the things that we found historically. But yeah, so we know that where it is possible for parents and carers to support their young person through this next kind of 4 or 5 month period, we know that it does make a really big, kind of impact. Those of you who have kind of like sat exams in the past, and those of you who have kind of perhaps been through the education system, you'll remember how lonely revising can be. And I think that, when we're talking about how best you can support, I think there's 2 different aspects to it. Firstly, it's helping in terms of like the emotional well-being side of things. So really kind of, making sure that your child is still focusing on, the things that are going to keep them well and they're going to keep them happy. So their kind of sleep routine, making sure they're still getting joy and keeping up with their hobbies, seeing their friends, eating well, eating nutritiously, and those kind of things. But also just making sure, that you're checking in, how's it going? Do you want me to test you on anything? Do you want to go for a little walk together? Those little things that, I don't know, which some young people would look at you like you had 2 heads if you said to them, but others actually, they really appreciate it because, as you might remember, it can feel quite lonely when you're in the trenches of revision. We know that attendance all the way through year 11, all the way through school, has a massive impact on achievement, but attendance really counts now over this next kind of countdown up until the GCSE exams starting. I'm going to talk you through the drive that we're talking to students about over the next 6 weeks. And we know that this half term particularly is one where a lot of pupil progress is made. We cover a lot of ground in terms of, kind of boosting grades. So, hopefully we have got over the lurgy season that was November and December, but we would really encourage young people to be in school and to stay in school where humanly possible. Talked a little bit about this a moment ago, but really kind of where possible, focusing on these are the things that we will talk to students a lot about during our pastoral curriculum. So whether that's assembly or whether that's form time, and I think your child's form tutor has a really important job over the next kind of couple of months of really making sure that these are things that young people are focusing on as well. We really try to focus on the journey, not the grades, the process, not the outcome. We talk to young people about the fact that they can't control the grades that they will get on that slip of paper in August. All they can control is the day-to-day, putting into practice the revision, kind of timetable that they've put into place. And I would really, if your child is kind of like really getting angsty about whether they're going to get their results, really focusing on the journey, not the grades, is a message that, I hope you can get on board with. We will do a lot of work with young people about how to plan their study. Indeed, we've looked a lot at that already, but we'll be looking over the next couple of weeks at how they can really refine their study timetables. But checking in with your young person about, kind of like, what does that revision timetable look like for them? Is it realistic? Is it healthy? Are they doing enough? Are they doing too much? Because, depending on the young person, we are aware that, we've got both ends of the spectrum and everyone in between within our year group. So, kind of like looking at how realistic that timetable is, but also, having a little check-in and being in a bit of an accountability partner for them so that, you can help give them a high five or maybe a small chocolate treat if they've managed to kind of complete a particular revision session. Yeah, and a little bit of support with time management as well, I suppose, is always kind of really important. And a little bit, I think this is important too, and we do this very much on like a form tutor level and an individual level with young people, reminding them that they are more than these exams. Yes, of course, we know that the GCSEs are incredibly important. We want them to do as well as they possibly can, but actually we expect there to be peaks and troughs on the way to sitting those exams. There will be moments where they are finding things a little bit harder than others, but also they are more than these exams as well. They are more, they are a whole well-rounded person. And I think, reminding them of what makes them unique and special is really important as well, so that they don't get too bogged down with things when it gets tricky. Okay. We will talk to students a lot about different revision strategies. Hopefully by now your young person is starting to find the subjects, the revision strategies in different subjects that work well for them. But you know, kind of perhaps if your young person is finding revision a bit monotonous, or finding that actually they're struggling in a certain subject, encouraging them to perhaps try a different method of revision for that subject might be quite useful. I'd encourage them in the first place to speak to their subject teacher to see what subject specific strategies their teacher would recommend. But as always, and I think the message that we'll go throughout this presentation is, please just feel free to reach out to us. You know, if you've got concerns in any way, if you think a little pep talk, your child is worried about a certain subject, we're more than happy to be, you know, the kind of in-betweeners between your child, yourselves, and subject teachers if needs be. Okie dokie. So our big drive over this half term, we kind of lean into this kind of frequent New Year's resolution that a lot of us sometimes get. So this idea of couch to 5k, we change it a little bit and we call it couch to grade 5+. So what we talk to students about is the fact that we are aiming to put on a grade over the next 6 weeks. That's what we're trying to do. Okay, so for some students that will be pushing from a grade 2 in a certain subject to a grade 3. For some students it will be pushing to a grade 4 to a grade 5. For some it'll be moving 7 to 8, whatever that might be based on their kind of college entry mock exams. We talk to young people about the fact that actually, just as the principles of doing an exercise program like Couch to 5k are really about kind of this use of milestones, regular practice, and kind of really assessing where your performance is. So those things are going to be really important over the next 6 weeks. So we set them this challenge, this 6-week challenge. And it's going to launch in assembly on Monday. And what we will talk to students about is the fact that actually, as you can see here from this breakdown of what we've got left of year 11, you can see here, if you look, and this is literally one of the slides that we will show them on Monday, we can see how important this half term is. We've got a 6-window block where we've got a real kind of uninterrupted learning time, and we know how powerful this half term is. So we'll talk to them about the importance of attendance. We'll talk to them about the importance of really locking in over the course of this half term. We also want to make it clear really how once this half term's done, things really start to, you know, get busy, I suppose. We've got mock exams the first 2 weeks of next half term. We've then only got 3 weeks before we're into summer 1, and it's in week 4 of summer 1 that the GCSE exams start. What we want students to realise from this is the power that this half term can have for them, how pivotal it will be, and how they can absolutely, if they've not yet switched on to revision, how locking in now will make such a huge difference to them. So we want it to be a really empowering moment for them. We will talk to them on Monday about the fact that the way the Couch to Grade 5+ works is about setting yourself little targets each week and ticking those off as you achieve them. So what we're going to ask students to do next week is to start this process. So by on their study timetable, kind of really thinking about what do we want that to look like. So they're drafting their study timetables in the build up to the February mock exams. We'll ask them to try and commit to 2 home revision sessions next week. So we're starting small. We're not starting in an overwhelming way. We want it to be that taste of success that they can build on each week. And we also want them to make sure that as part of one of their revision sessions, they've had a go at one self-test or practice question or paper. And what we hope is that by having that small taste of things next week, the following week, we can ramp that up a little bit and a little bit more, so that just as if you have ever done the Couch to 5k, you'll know that it increases a little bit each week, so that by the end of it, you're really in the flow with things. That's what we want it to be like with the build up to the February exams. So that's how we're talking about the build up to this next round of mock exams with students. Talked about that, sorry. When it comes to revision, and we will be talking, it'll be me who's talking to students on Monday. I will be reminding them about some of the key things when it comes to revision. And I think I probably spoke to you about this in the autumn term, but this is a reminder, and this is so that you can feel free to name drop me if you're having to kind of deliver any hard messages at home. We talk to students quite regularly about the fact that their working memory is really finite. They cannot take in a lot of information at once. If your child claims to be brilliant at multitasking and they can be revising at the same time as watching a show on Netflix, at the same time as keeping up to date with all their social media, they can't. Okay, they're kind of wasting their time. We talk to students about this. So we really strongly encourage students to make sure that they've got other devices, they've got other distractions completely away from them during their revision sessions. And we talk about the fact that actually what you're aiming for is a 45-minute to an hour really focused revision slot. Then have a break where you can check your notifications, do whatever you need to do, and then do another revision slot. In previous years, we found it really successful when young people have had a bit of a commitment with their peer group. So they've kind of done a bit of a study timetable with their friends, and they've committed to the fact that, do you know what, guys, between 5 and 6, we're all going to make sure that our phones are away, so nobody's going to be contacting anybody. Please, nobody contact the WhatsApp group within that time. And actually, we talk to students about this, but that's just so that you can kind of like reinforce that message as well at home. It's just so that they can really concentrate, and it will hopefully, you know, transfer to that long-term learning much more effectively. I'm doing this one.
Okay, and it should be February to March.
Yeah, sorry.
Mock exams. Okay, so we basically will be timetabled again. The mock exams and it will last for 2 weeks, and they will happen. The exam will happen in examination hall. That is a sports hall. Revision list will be basically on a student intranet, and the hard copy will be given near to the exam. During the mock exam period, students basically the ones that are entitled to have to access arrangement with an extra time, read and scribes, and you know they will, and what they normally have in a normal situation will be given, because the exams will happen exactly the same way the GCSE exams happen, or the college entry exams happened. During form time, we will work with the student to create an independent study timetable. That is crucial. My own daughter, she's doing GCSEs as well. And every time when I ask where is your home study timetable, and it's there, and it looks really good, you know. But does she stick to it? That's the other thing. Okay, it looks very colourful, looks beautiful, spend ages on it. So please make sure that you as a parent, when you see the study timetable, and you just look at the evidence as well, whether they're doing it or whether they're doing it properly or not, because they need your guidance at this stage. I know they will push you away. This is what she's doing as well. But trying to dive in, try to dive in and have a look what they're doing. This is what the study timetable look like. Okay, and you can see they have used it before, but and they will be given again this week. And you can see that before school, they can write what's happening before school, what's happening after school, what they need to attend. Then when they go home, the revision sessions, 3 revision sessions they will be doing. And on this right-hand side, there's a deep revision, and deep revision is testing mainly, So suppose if I taught today the theory of evolution in biology, and when they go home, okay, they can revisit, learn a little bit more, but deep revision is when they test themselves, and this can happen maybe after a few days. It's better because it's come up under retrieval practice as well. So deep revision is mainly on testing. Time management is crucial, because what I notice, the students are doing the test papers or they are testing themselves, but the time management is not as great as it should be. And normally sometimes if they're doing the full paper, it's written on at the front of the paper. So time management is crucial. You don't want your child to do 2 hours of chemistry, the paper, or spending 2 hours on it, or 2.5 hours, or So that's the bit you need to look at as well, that they're not wasting time spending too long on when they're testing themselves. Testing has to be quick and sharp, and whatever results they get, they're learning from it. Right, okay, so this week's takeaways, basically they have a plan. They're going to take, we're going to give them the blank revision timetable. Okay, and they basically, they know when there's not the progress test, is when we don't have the exact timetable for the March mock exams, but they got a rough idea of how many weeks left. Make sure they're organized. The sources, home study tab on Teams is basically, there's a lot of information there, a lot of resources there, and basically these are the messages they will be getting as a whole school, because the progress test starting next week as well. So the whole school approaches, at the moment, the whole school is on exam mode. Okay, so that is another one. Home study timetable and home learning timetable and resources will be on a school's website, on a student intranet. And also there will be a lot of other additional resources will be there to aid for them to use variety of resources to when they're doing the revision. Quizlet is quite a good one if someone just want to do the quick testing. GCSE pod is quite good. Once you're in GCSE pod, it's quite useful and people know how to use it, then it's quite beneficial, because it's got a lot of information in there, how to organize the revision timetable, what's the best way to revise. A lot of advice is on GCSE pod, and school paid a lot of money to buy GCSE pod, so this is a quite good one. Educate, we use English, maths is English, and we use in science as well. So a lot of quizzes in there. Sparks Maths is good, and everything is just there, and a lot of resources. Just they need to just try and find out which one is the best for which subject. Okay, and then all the information will be given soon. Okay, hopefully in next few weeks, when the exams are and what exams they are sitting. But the main thing is now to have the routine in place. The main thing is that to have the revision timetable or study timetable at home. Another 2 weeks. I just did one lesson with the year 11s and 10s, and I can straight away had the feelings that there was you know, the routine is not there. They were tired and they late nights, and but just to make sure that their routine is back on, and they are in that study mode again, to make sure that they start the momentum and then they keep the momentum going. On MS Teams, a lot of information is on MS Teams. They just need to have a look. And the best person, the best friend will be their teachers, okay? And they just get as much information from the teachers, how to revise, what they will be tested on. And to be honest, by the time the second mock exams finish, they are revising everything they have done in past 2 years. So they need to think ahead, okay? We're here to help. As you have noticed that the students are here today. We only had one student. The study center is always open. I'm here. Miss Irvin is here, and the students got a very good relationship with her as well. And any questions, anything that they like to, if they want to discuss, they can discuss with her. And I'm here. Study center is open after school as well. There's a lot of revision guides. And if you need support on anything, if you need any, if you got any questions, we're here to help. So there's a lot to take in, and we are here now to basically for the questions. If you got any questions, you can write the questions on the chat. Does GCSE also cover BTEC revision? Yes.
Do you know the answer to that already?
Yeah.
All right, fabulous. So yeah, fantastic. I won't need to follow that up tomorrow then. So GCSE pod does cover the BTEC subjects as well.
Yeah.
Saves me a job for tomorrow. If you have got questions, you are so English literature next week. The paper is literature paper 1. So that is Macbeth and Jekyll and Hyde. The following week, it's literature paper 2. So students will be assessed on Lord of the Flies, anthology poetry and their unseen poetry.
So paper 1 is Macbeth then?
Paper 1 is Macbeth and Jekyll and Hyde. That will take place during the Tuesday double lesson each of those weeks.
You want to type for literature paper 1 and
Yeah,
2?
I will.
You know better. I can do science.
It's what you were showing on the screen. I'm sorry, Gwen, I'm not sure what you mean. Do you want to unmute yourself and ask the question? I'm not sure what you mean.
Intranet.
Oh,
yeah.
the intranet.
Yeah.
Yes, so that is
bulk. They got on Teams and intranet bulk, yeah.
okay. I'm not gonna write it in the chat because I can't talk at the same time. But so yeah, paper 1 is Jekyll and Hyde and Macbeth, and paper 2 the following week is Lord of the Flies, anthology poetry and unseen poetry. What we have still got on the screen is where students can access Teams and a lot of where their kind of home study additional materials are. So if they log into MS Teams, if they go to the Year 11 team, and if they click on the Home Study tab, they can then click on lots of different subjects, and there'll be some past papers and things like that on there as well.